Hello, I'm Princess Serena, not Princess Serena, and today I ran out of Disney clothing, so I decided to wear a hat, and it was fitting because last year today, on February 16th, I actually was at Walt Disney World in Hollywood Studios. It's wild to think it's only been a year. It feels like 5 for sure. But with that time not going out, I've been expanding my pin collection. And today I'm gonna show you my biggest pin board. And believe it or not, this is actually it after my downsizing yesterday. I love, love, love reorganizing my pin boards. And I just feel like it brings a new life to the collection, and sometimes when I reorganize them, I take some of the pins off, and it's a total bonus when I do because then I can trade for more pins that I like, and then the magic just never ends. I'm going to just show you the first 3 Pixar films on this board. I do have 6 of them on there, besides my Toy Story and WALL-E pins as well, which I've already shown on this channel, but I will have an update on the WALL-E one. So I'm going to show my Bugs Life, Finding Nemo, and Monsters, Inc. collection today. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting at the top over here, this is one of my favorite series that Disney continuously produces. Whenever one of their animated feature films wins Best Animated Feature at the Oscars, they make a pretty big poster pin, and then it has a little envelope and it says the year that they won. So they won in 2003. I like this poster in particular because it has Bruce and then it has Dory and Marlin scared in the front, and they're tiny. And you'd argue that Marlin is more of a main character than Nemo, and it's kind of funny that Marlin really isn't on many of the pins or Finding Nemo merchandise in general, so it's cool that he's on there. Moving along over here, we have the fish tank from the Fairy Tales TAIL event in 2019. I did not attend, but I knew I wanted this pin the second I was looking at Finding Nemo pins to add to my ISO because I love the fish tank gang, and that is the biggest flaw in Finding Dory, that they did not make an appearance. And then we have the fish bags around it. I also really wanted this series. It was super hard to hunt down. I do believe most of these are fake, maybe the shrimp, and this one isn't fake just because there's white on the bag and the fake ones have yellow, but I'm not sure. But at least I managed to get ones that had similar tones of blue. I know some of the fake ones have like really dark shades of blue for the water and it didn't really look good. But I'm happy to have these fakes. They're staying here. I am not trading them ever. Even for fakes, other than the starfish, they were all really hard to find. Like Nemo and the shrimp took me a few months to find. Then we got a big Pixar jumbo to have as a centerpiece at the top. And then we have the Nemo puzzle pieces. I love this set. I was super lucky to trade Semi recently for Mr. Ray, and he is the chaser in the set. So all of these pieces are limited edition 900, but he is limited edition 600. So super cool that I even found him in the States, let alone traded for him. And then I'm missing the other chaser and then some other pins. There are 12 pins in this set. It came out in 2016. I'm really hoping one day they come out with more Pixar puzzle pieces. Moving to the other side, I have a Finding Dory pin. It's not my favorite Pixar movie in the world. I talked about that in my Pixar ranking video, but I had to have it right under the Finding Nemo pin just to represent the 2 movies that this universe has. And then Just Peachy, which, fun fact, it actually smells like peaches. And now the scent is pretty much gone. But they made a whole series last year, a monthly series, where each pin smelled like something. Like they had Lotso smelling like strawberries, for example. And then I was gonna get rid of this pin along with a lot of other Finding Nemo pins because the rest are pretty intentional. But my mom was like, I love the colors. You have to keep it. It's super vibrant. And honestly, I cannot disagree. I really like the colors and I'm happy I kept it. And then this one I recently showed in a pin mail video, and it's a great segue into the Bugs Life one because it's the same series. Then we got some harder to find characters. These are really old pins. I put them under each other. I believe they're from the same series. And then shifting over drastically to super new Bugs Life pins from this year's hidden Disney pins. They're not called hidden Mickeys anymore because they're going to use more of their properties they're going to use Marvel characters and stuff like that. And then there's different symbols. Instead of a hidden Mickey, they're gonna have a Lotso balls for the Pixar ones. Then we have the Bugs Life Tsum Tsums, which 2 of them I was lucky enough to pull out of the actual bag myself. I remember when I was first getting into Disney pins, this was the first mystery bag I ever opened, and I got pretty lucky. 4 out of the 5 were ones I really wanted to keep. Flicks Fun Fair. This one's an LE 900. I was super lucky to snag it at my first live sale in the Canadian Facebook group. I don't know why every time I read this pin, I hear Heimlich's voice.
Finally, I'm a beautiful butterfly!
This one's adorable. I didn't know it existed until I saw someone had it portrayed. I could like feel their conversation. Like I feel the good energy, you know? And it's the 10th anniversary, which means it's a pretty old pin from 2008 then. Earth Day 2020, it actually moves. I did not know that when I first traded for it. Then we got an LE 1000, in which I know comes from a LE 1000 set with a few other Bugs Life pins. And again, I like how we have Francis and the gang that's like not usually in the pins. Like it's not Dot, it's not Flick. Dot's Natural Nectar. This is the only soda can I ended up keeping from this set. I am super proud that I was able to complete this 4-pin leaf set. These are the only 4 in existence. I got the Heimlich one in a live sale, not knowing there was a set, but I had a feeling there may be, so I looked it up and there was. It's from 2008, so it was a little harder to find, and I was able to trade for Francis in Canada, and then the other 2 I got to trade within the States, and it took me a few months to track down. Then moving down, we have my Monsters, Inc. collection. This one's really fun. It swings. I feel like it's perfect with Mike and Sully to the rescue. Here we go. Be scared because we care. I just love Mike's attitude there. And then we have the doors. They're actually from a booster set, and I just think they look perfect next to each other. And especially the Yeti, like look at him holding the snow cones like he's ready for Sully and Mike to enter his little world. And this one's representative like of the world he's from. So every Monsters Inc. collector has to have Boo in her iconic monster costume that everyone just buys is a real monster. But anyways, I really like this one. It's from Shanghai Disney, I believe. It's representative of a ride, but I just really like the design. And again, I really like when characters that aren't typically featured on pins are.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
This is the only pin I remotely liked of the pumpkin set. Usually I can admire, oh, that's a really cute pin, I just don't collect it. But I honestly didn't like the rest at all. And it just worked out that I liked the Monsters Inc. one, and that was the only thing that I collected. This is a Loungefly pin, and it's Boo's door, and it opens. And then we have a really clear reflection. Hello. Then we have the Hong Kong Lollipop series. I had quite a few of these series just because I was a pretty big fan of the design, but I ended up only keeping these 2 because they fit really well in my collection. And I find they do reuse this picture of Sully in a lot of the pins, but I feel like it feels unique in this one. Like I was super particular with the Monsters Inc. pins. I feel like a lot of them look the same, which is why this one only has 1 row, whereas the other 2 movies I just showed you has more pins. And then finally, we have the Yeti with the snow cones, 1 for him and then 1 for Mike and Sully, and it has the Luxo ball as the background. It's a limited release pin, and the series, I actually have the Wally one as well. It shows each character that John Ratzenberger voiced, because if you didn't know, he actually voices 1 character in every single Pixar movie, and I believe his most prominent role in all of them would be Ham from Toy Story, and the rest are usually smaller characters. Having Easter eggs is definitely on brand for Pixar. This is from the Pixar party in 2016, which that sounds like quite a good time. So that's part 1 of my Pixar side collections. I hope you enjoyed, and I would love to know out of those 3 films what your favorite is, and if you have a favorite pin that I showed. And those 2 definitely don't have to match. Sometimes I really like a pin that isn't my favorite movie. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more pin content from me and to get notified when I make part 2 of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care of yourselves and have a magical day. Bye! Here's an overview of all the pins I showed. I think I did a pretty good job at keeping a diverse group of characters, and then the ones that do appear a lot on the pins, they have pretty unique designs to them.